Okay, so the big red truck is officially back on the road. And actually, it's been back on the road for a little over a week. The front suspension restoration project has finally come to an end. And I thought I'd make a video to just talk about that a little bit. So this whole thing started where I started the project back at the end of January, beginning of February. I never intended it to take this long. I thought at the longest it would take would be maybe a month. But I started out where what happened was spring seats were rusted out. The left one was virtually gone. I don't even know what was holding the coil spring in. The front sway bar mount, or the left sway bar mount, had literally rusted off of the differential while I was driving the truck. So I decided, okay, now's the perfect time in the winter to do this restoration project, put a whole new front end under the truck, and I'll have everything done in time for catering in the springtime. Well, none of my deposits came in from my catering business. Even to this day, I haven't gotten any money from my catering. So the whole thing stalled. Now, I started off with enough money to pay for the welding, and we got that part done, and then the truck just sat, and it sat, and it sat, and it kind of looked like a monument in the driveway. It would just sit there. It was on jack stands. It had no front wheels, no coil springs or anything underneath the front of it. It looked horrible. People drove by, seen it. I would get asked questions all the time, you know, what's going on with the truck? And it just was so disheartening because I didn't know when I was going to get it back together. And I would get money little by little, week by week. I would save up enough money to buy a part or two. Sometimes I just went like a whole month without buying any parts. Finally, it all started to come together. We started to get a little bit of money scraped up, and essentially what I did was I had Armin Hess, and he's a local welder right here in Ringo's. This is his number right here, and he did an amazing job. He fabricated a sway bar mount from scratch. He welded the spring mounts in, or the spring seats, and he did some other plating and stuff, and he just did an amazing job. And he did it quick. I got it back. And Armin, thank you so much for that, man. That was amazing work. So once we got enough stuff, I put in new coil springs, all brand new tie rods, inners and outers, ball joints, uppers and lowers, track bar, sway bar, end links. Everything is brand new. I had done the hubs last year and the brakes. So essentially it's a brand new front end, just short of a steering box. Then I had also started the project where I had purchased a tire. So I already had brand new tires for it. After we got everything in, and I got to thank Tiny so much. He was the muscle. Everybody knows Tiny. He was the muscle that helped me, you know, turn the wrenches, the breaker bars, torque wrenches, impact wrench, everything. There was a lot of rusted, really rusted stuff underneath it there. Some of the stuff we had to just cut out. Some of the control arm bolts just had to be cut off. Dealing with Dodge flag nuts, anybody that's ever dealt with flag nuts, those things suck, especially when the flag rusts away. I won't go into any more detail, but flag nuts totally suck. Anyway, so we get it all back together. I get it over to Champion Tire. Those guys are amazing as well, local right here in Ringo's. Champion Tire mounted my tires, mounted, balanced, front end alignment. Now everything is fine. The truck drives fine, and I'm so happy to have it all back together. And I really do have to thank Tiny and Armin for what they did. And now it's back together, and the truck is back on the road. It's a 1994 Dodge Ram 1500, and it has less than 100,000 miles on it. I also put a new front drive shaft I put into it. The U-joints, everything, just put a whole drive shaft under there. Put a new four-wheel drive actuator, I guess it's called, that puts it in and out of four-wheel drive. So everything underneath the front of this thing works perfectly. It works like it was brand new. So we're back on the road. I love this truck so much. It's just so cool to drive this old truck in a good condition, stick shift. I love it.